G'day guys, we're back here again with the FunnyPlaying FPGA Gameboy Colour kit. In part 1 we fully assembled it, and today we'll take a look at it. Now we've got it all assembled, let's take a look at what it can do. I want to show off a DMG game, so I'll use Super Mario Land 2 for this. A Game Boy Color only game, so I'll use Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I want to show off a DX game, so something that works on both, so we'll use Pokemon Gold. My save battery is flat, I have to change that. Haven't got around to it yet, so we'll take a look at that. And also I want to try out Pokemon Crystal Clear on a MBC 3000 cart from Ben. So we'll try all them. We'll start off with Mario Land 2. So it just goes in like a regular Game Boy. And turn it on. So starting off, if you push in the volume rocker, which is there, if you push it in, you get the on-screen display. To navigate, it's the D-pad up and down. A is go right and B is go left. So we'll start off with the brightness. So that's that. The volume, we'll put it down the middle. The display mode, so that's the zoom. So you've got 4xp. I'm not sure the difference between X4 EMU or any of the options of EMU and then regular. So you've got X4, X4P and full. Then you've got X4 EMU, X4P EMU and X4, full EMU. So I'm not sure the differences between them. X4P EMU looks like it has the dot matrix effect, so you can see the little pixels. And full, I prefer full. So next is the core. So if you go Game Boy, it runs in Game Boy mode, and Game Boy Color, Game Boy Color. So we'll go back to Game Boy, push it in. It is still in color. I believe this is the core it's using. So we'll keep it as Game Boy Color. Some of the games it has issues, so that's why that's there as an option. The palette select, you can change that, we'll leave that. I'm not sure what frame mix is. That, as you can see, Mario's sprite at the bottom is a little bit off. If we turn on the fix, it fixes it. On Pokemon, only half of the sprite is drawn, so without that on, so you do want to keep that on for Game Boy games. Down is you've got, the next one down is you've got the speed it runs at. So by default, it's on here. You can go up 2 more options, which increases the speed very slightly, and you can go down a whole bunch. So I'll put it back onto default, which is there. I'll turn up the volume. So hopefully you can hear it. If I push it back in, go down to full speed. It's a little bit faster. If I go all the way down to the slower speed, it's quite a lot slower. So you can see him walking. And if I go, so the default is 2 down, which is there. So that's what it looks like normally. And then finally go to the max speed. There we go there. So if you're playing something like Pokemon or a grindy RPG, that little bit of speed increase probably save you a couple of hours over the game. But we'll just leave it on default. So that looks fine. Also, you can change the theme when you turn it on, like a real Game Boy camera. If you press the buttons on boot, it does change the palette. So we'll put on that one there. Seem to have crashed it, so that's interesting. We'll do a reset, change it back to that. It does not seem to like that. I wonder if that's for one of these. Yeah, it doesn't seem to like the button combination. I guess you're supposed to change the palette on the OSD, so we'll change that. If I go back. Oops. That didn't seem to change anything. So to put the Game Boy Fix on, let's change the palette a whole bunch. Push it in. So I'm not too sure what that does. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. We'll turn that off. Change the game. Next we'll try Pokemon Gold. Turn it on. Again, my save battery is flat, unfortunate. I will get around to changing it one day. I'll probably film it as well to show you how it's done. Let's put it on high speed just to save the frames, as they say. Okay, so now we're in the game. Bring up the menu. We turn that on. Do the palettes work with that on? No, so that doesn't do anything either. It's a bit weird. And also, if you press in the turn on the OSD menu, you can see the current version you're on. So this is 1.08, which is the latest version as of making it. 1.09 is available, but they recommend not to install it as your daily driver just yet. It's because it's not perfect, so stick with 1.08. We'll close out Pokemon Gold because there is a lot of waiting. We'll go into our Game Boy Color game, see what that looks like. Just refocus it. Oops. As you can see, it's basically a direct port of the PlayStation or N64. Nah, it's not a bad game at all, actually. It gets a lot of hate online, but it's pretty good for the Game Boy Color. So bringing up the on-screen display doesn't pause the game. So you can pause that. Yeah, I'm not sure what a lot of these options seem to be doing. I know GB Fix is to fix the issues with the original DMG games. If you don't have any glitches with it, you can leave it off. Frame Mix, I'm not too sure what that is. The palette doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. The core, I'm not too sure what that does either, unfortunately. I was told it changes the core it's emulating, but if I put it on Game Boy, this shouldn't be working at all, because it's a Game Boy Color game. If I reset it, and make sure it's on Game Boy, yeah, so I'm not too sure what that does, but we'll move on. We'll try the last game for today, which is Pokemon Crystal Clear. This flash cart has an RTC built in, so it's great for running Pokemon Gen 2 ROM hacks, or even the real games. Everything works fine. Normally you wouldn't have RTC or anything like that. I've only played a little bit of this game, but so far it's pretty cool. It's got a bit of Mega Man music, as you can hear. I think it had Yu-Gi-Oh music when you were setting it up. So that works fine. I believe this is open world. If you toggle the volume rocker up and down instead of in, it does work as a volume wheel as well. Or a volume changer. Oops. I will show, if I can soft reset, I will show what a new game looks like, what kind of options you have, because it is quite customizable. So we'll go new game. You've got a few different options here. We'll go normal. So you can pick where you want to start, Johto or Kanto, that's pretty cool. And you can pick which city you want to start in. Tells you the difficulty. So if you've played a lot of Pokemon Crystal and you're finding it too easy, this is a fun little ROM hack. So let's start New Bucktown. But it's the amount of customization you can do that really sets it apart. I'm pretty sure this background music is from Yu-Gi-Oh card game. I think from Game Boy Advance. But it might be the same on Game Boy Color. So you can change your model. If I go here. There's a bunch to pick from. We can go presets. And if we back out of that, you can change the skin tone. Oh yeah, the outfit color. The RGB value of the outfit, I guess, to really customize it. But there's also random, so it randomizes everything. That's pretty cool. Pretty neat. Now, when it's loading, if you press select, oh, so put your name in next. Let's go SJSL. Pick the backpack color. And again, we'll just pick the Pokegear color as red. There's a lot of starter Pokemon to pick from, which is pretty neat. So you got Gen 1 starters, Gen 2 starters, and just a bunch of random, I guess, popular Pokemon. We'll go with Ducklips. There is quite a long introduction, and if you press select at the right time, you can skip it all. It tells you afterwards you can do that. But if you haven't done it before and you don't want to read all about it, just press select. So just after here, there. So when that bar goes across, press select and it'll skip all the tutorial. And I won't save the game, because I've already got my save on there. But that does work fine now if we reset it. We can go back to my original save. And there it is. So overall, I'll just refocus. Might zoom out a little bit. I think it's definitely a cool little product. The USB-C charging is pretty neat. You don't need any original parts at all if you pay the extra few dollars for the buttons and membranes. Then you can have everything reproduction. It probably ends up costing about the same price as a used Game Boy Color online, except you do get a nice screen on this. A couple of options in the menu. It is still very buggy. It's not perfect, but they are still releasing updates, which is cool. So hopefully in the future they find out all the bugs and it becomes a pretty cool little handheld. But I think for now, definitely worth the price. If you don't have any Game Boy Color or anything like that, and you're looking at buying one, maybe consider getting one of these. All right, thanks for watching.